Walking through grass in Australia is extremely uncomfortable. It's actually starting to rain, which isn't a bad thing, because if we got a shower and got some light, especially the way I'm facing, that could work out quite well. Now, I don't think it's going to be a heavy shower where it'll produce a rainbow or anything like that, but it is, yeah, it is starting to rain. It's hard to know when you have a hat on sometimes. I can just see it on the lake. The wind is a bit disappointing. It was meant to be flat calm, but I think I'll still get some images. It's one of those mornings where most of the contrast and colour in the sky is going to come up after the sunrise, which is in 10 minutes time. So no pre-dawn colour, that's fine. That happens. Even though the cloud was perfect, it was like all middle and high cloud, no low cloud. But let's wait and see what happens here. It's going to be fairly straightforward, to be honest. It's framing up those dead trees behind me with the 24-120, probably more so at the longer end. So that's why I love a lens like a 24-120. You've got 24mm all the way to 120mm, so you've got your wide angle covered and you've got your longer focal length stuff covered. 24mm for me is a really nice balance between it's wide enough to capture a scene for landscapes, but it's not so wide that your images get distorted and you lose, like let's say you shoot mountains at 14mm. They're going to appear very, very small, whereas with 24mm you still have that nice compression even on the wider end. So, and to be able to carry, if I'd carry one lens, I'd carry this lens. This is the 24-120 Z lens. Is it the first? I have a 24mm prime and a 15mm prime, but this is the S lens, the S line. So, and I can tell the difference. It's incredibly sharp. Like, I'm not going to do a review where I take pictures of a brick wall and test sharpness that way, or zoom into 500% on Lightroom. There's loads of reviews that have done that before. This is me looking at it from a practical landscape photographer's point of view, where you're always going to have the options of denoise and sharpening anyways, and fixing chromatic aberrations in Lightroom nowadays with post-processing has gone so advanced. So I never worry about those things. I never have. If it's an astro lens, then maybe that's different, but for this particular lens, the only negative about this lens that I have found is its lack of image stabilization. When I'm on the longer end at 120, I really have to make sure I'm shooting at a faster shutter speed to prevent that shake. What does that mean? Generally it means I have to crank up my ISO, but because these cameras are so good at higher ISOs, it doesn't bother me. It's got a multifunction button on the side, so I've that actually set to put on the grid display on the back of my camera, and fantastic. And then it has also a multi-control ring where you can map that to exposure compensation. I have it mapped to my aperture, quickly change my aperture, so very handy feature as well. And it has the AF on manual to autofocus button, which is also brilliant. So I don't see this lens ever leaving my bag. I'll never sell it on. It will always be there. I don't actually have a telephoto lens, but generally I get away with 120mm. There are times when I want the longer focal length stuff, but for this particular, for my workflow, the 24-120 is absolutely perfect. Right. Hopefully it's 7 minutes to sunrise. I'm really hoping I get some contrast in the sky behind me with these trees. clear. It's a shame that the sun is rising behind me, just probably here at the wrong time of year, but this is a place I'm going to be returning to for astrophotography, and I'm sure you can already imagine how good this place will look with all those dead trees and the Milky Way behind it. It's funny because yesterday morning I was shooting almost towards the sunrise, and all the colour was on the opposite side of the sky. And this morning I'm shooting the opposite way of the sunrise, and all the colour is, as you would expect, near where the sun is rising. I was really hoping that these would light up, but I think it will. I think when the sun comes up I will get some nice contrast in the sky, so I haven't lost hope yet. But finding a composition is actually tricky because there's so much to shoot. I've got so many of these dead trees in the lake that I'm not sure what way to point my camera, to be honest. If you were a nature photographer, you would have a field day here. I've seen so many cool birds on the water, herons, cranes. I can just imagine like a misty morning and you got down real low to the water and shooting almost perfectly parallel with the birds. It would look really cool. Okay, I'm going to try and frame something up here. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely incredible. Look at this. Wow. I stopped recording and take some pictures. I did say like it's starting to rain, perhaps we could get a rainbow, but I didn't dare hope. And the lake just settled, it's gone flat calm. And I had the old dead tree in the composition, rainbow, bit of light, absolutely incredible. And now it's just gone. The light is gone. And the lake has gotten more calm. I might send up the drone. I think there's a couple of compositions. And look, we have a bit of cloud, we have a bit of contrast in the sky. But a local photographer, Stephen, was the one who was talking to me about this place, and he said there's so many compositions to shoot, and I can see what he means now. It's kind of hard to know where to point your camera. That's why I just framed up this one shot here, and I was happy with that. And I wasn't frantically running over and back, you know. But that was just absolutely spectacular. Wow. So I've just popped on a tree stop now to capture some long exposures because the lake is just picking up again. So tree stop filter, 10-second shutter speed, and just smooth out that water. But I think the best of the morning is gone now at this stage. Worked the 3:30 a.m. alarm clock. I wish I had a polarizer on. I wish I had a polarizer on when I shot the rainbow. I'll be able to pull it out in post, but the minute I put the polarizer on there, it just totally brought more contrast to the sky. But I was shooting a bit of video, and if I had put the polarizer on, it would have been too dark. So look, beggars can't be choosers. But what an absolutely incredible scene that was, just to witness even, and then this is my this is my big gripe with recording these videos, that when that happened, I reached for the camera. I reached to shoot some video on the camera and take shots on the camera. I reached for the GoPro. I reached for my bloody phone, because I'm recording 4K video on the iPhone as well. And I actually think I saw the rainbow once with my own eyes, and the rest of it was through the camera. Which is, not to put a negative on this incredibly brilliant morning so far, but it's something I have a bit of a gripe with shooting video, you know. You're constantly reaching for the next piece of technology to record the scene when you should probably be just using your eyes. But anyway, enough of that. I'm not really sure what to do now. I might explore the lake a bit. I might send up the drone. I was hoping for the sun to come out so I could capture a bit of drone footage, but that's definitely not going to happen because it's quite cloudy. So I think the drone will stay in the bag. I've taken the drone out once since I came to Australia, which is probably a bit of a waste, but sometimes that's just what happens, you know. But wow, what an incredible scene. And that's, again, I was talking about the 24 to 120mm lens. So earlier on this morning I was shooting longer stuff, and there with that tree I opened it up to 24. Didn't have to swap or change lenses, and that's a very, very versatile thing to be able to do while you're shooting landscape stuff, especially the kind of stuff I love shooting mornings like this, where you've got a bit of rain, beautiful contrast, light is constantly changing, versus mornings where, oh my god, okay, I had a branch had kind of fallen against my leg there. I could feel something brushing against my leg, and I didn't want to look down. You just never know. You're in Queensland, you're in Australia. What was I saying? Yeah, the 24 to 120. To not have to change lenses is brilliant, and you lessen the risk of getting your sensor dirty and whatnot, you know. So that was, yeah, what a brilliant morning. That's probably going to be the end of this video. Wow, brilliant.